r/ask Reddit. What are some things you'd only know by growing up poor? How to keep a 7-year-old from knowing she's poor. My mom used to take my brother and I to the soup kitchen every week to volunteer. We must always be kind to those less fortunate, she'd say. Then, after volunteering, oh, it's so late and I don't feel like cooking. Let's just eat here while we're here. This speaks volumes to me. When my sister and I were growing up before the age of 10, we were pretty bad off. Though we never knew it. Our parents were so good at not cluing us into it that we didn't even know until we were adults. We lived in rural Texas, and a couple times a week, my dad would come in and say to us, "I noticed a lot of people littering on the way home. We should go do our part to keep our community beautiful and clean." So we would go walk up and down the highway picking up cans and glass bottles. We would then take them to the recycling yard where we got to watch the cool machine shoot the cans at the big pile of crushed cans. I later found out we did that because we couldn't afford basic necessities, and we were collecting recyclables, which the yard paid for by the pound at the time, so we could go buy a gallon of milk, eggs, and bread. My parents are my role models now, and I only hope I have been half as good a parent to my kids as my parents were to me. Your mother is a remarkable person. When someone breaks into your house but doesn't take anything. Happened once. Still think it's funny. Poignant. Thief realizes he's not as desperate as the people who live there. The burglar breaks the window, steps inside and looks around. Says to themselves, "Man, I better put $20 here so they can get that window fixed cause it's going to be chilly tonight." Your dad asking you for $20 so he can go to work for the week but he'll pay you back when he gets paid. Yeah, my dad would randomly give me $5 every month or 2 months. Sometimes I saved it up and it always hurt when he needed $20 for gas. I didn't get mad though because it was his money originally. Knowing the cheapest thing on the menu at every restaurant. For when your friend's family invites you out to dinner, even though you're not paying, you're programmed to only select the cheapest thing. My friend's mom said you sure like hot dogs. That's all you order no matter where we go to eat. IDK about in other states but in MN they can't shut your power off during the winter because of the danger of someone freezing to death in their house. So that was a good time to try to catch up on some other bills you are way behind on too. They just passed a law in Arizona where it is the other way around starting next summer due to it being 100 plus all day and night regularly. Everybody is curious to see how it is going to play out. They passed it because an elderly woman with Alzheimer's depended on her children to pay it for her when they forgot she had no AC for the summer and died consequently. You develop an appreciation for hand-me-down clothes when they come your way. Yes, because they were usually still in style and clean. So much joy going through garbage bags of hand-me-downs and trying stuff on. I remember being so excited getting like 4-5 bags of clothes from an older cousin. Especially an older cousin you viewed as cool. Not to ask their parents for stuff. I had someone in college why I didn't ask my parents for something when I was broke and needed help. They were blown away when I said they were in the same situation. And when I was in high school, my dad borrowed money from me. Camping is only fun when you've never had to do it out of necessity. My cheapskate boss told me it was a lifestyle choice. What hunger really is. I remember waiting for my dad's payday for the grocery shopping trip and being absolutely ravenous when the food got there. I don't remember which day of the week it was but we'd go on the day that the most free samples were available. How important ingenuity becomes to eat. Mom could make a bag of potatoes last 2 weeks amongst 5 kids. Her and my dad. Rice, butter, and sugar was a breakfast food. Biscuits lasted days, toasted butter and brown sugar for dinner, etc. Anything shiny on the ground might be a coin. I need to get out of this thread. Can still spot a penny on the sidewalk half a block away. I still remember the time I found a $5 bill in the street as a kid. There's a local fast food chain that at the time that had a special bean burrito, fries and a drink for $1.16. Ate like a queen for days. How to cook with the government surplus cheese. We got so much of that cheese. A few years ago I stopped in a Hostess bread store in a poor neighborhood. I was the only white guy in the store and while waiting in line, other people started talking about the government cheese. and I said that my family got a lot of it and we liked it. Everyone goes quiet and looked at me. Then someone says, "We thought that was just for black folk." And I said, "No, we got it too because it was for poor people." And then we all started talking about the cheese. Food stamp paper change. When I was a kid, if you used food stamps they would give back the change in food stamp form. My mom was too proud to publicly use them, so she would make up a reason to leave and I would have to pay using them. I was 11 or so. She did it every time. I had to learn to keep my head up. My mother would send me into the store with $20 1-foot stamps. I would stand at the register and get the 95-cent change for each 5-cent gum. One at a time. They figured out what I was doing and started laughing. But they let me do it. The shame was not nearly as bad as dealing with mama without her methadone. I was 11 too. On the bright side, nothing embarrasses me now. Pizza nights are the best birthday present you could ever ducking get. A whole pizza, ordered exactly how you like it, and you get to have more than one slice. When I was about 10, my older brother was working as some kind of technician and he secretly took me along on a trip to check some equipment in a different city. We had Pizza Hut for dinner 2 nights in a row with the company card and I remember being in absolute heaven. Government cheese. Doing your laundry in a bathtub using only cold water. BC, the gas was shut off. Trying to spend the night at your friend's house. BC, they had food and a warm room. Thanks Nikki. Loving going to school because you could at least eat there. Trips to Goodwill for new clothes. Showers at school because at least 3 water was warm. Being made fun of because you smelled like kerosene. Having lice and no one doing anything about it. Going to school with bruises. BC, your parents took their shitty decisions out on you. I'm so grateful to a handful of people that saw potential in me. I went to college, got a great job, and broke the cycle. Thanks Tom and Tony. I used to work at a gas station. I look the other way for a lot of shit. Everyone is struggling and I don't give a shit if a kid steals a candy bar or gets a free IC. One man didn't have enough money for a lighter, so I said wait till I turn around. Go walk to the door, light the cig, throw the lighter on the ground, and walk out. That sometimes your parents sacrifice everything they have, including their sanity, just to see you happy, and you only learn later in life the soul-crushing existence of poverty. Then you wonder how they managed to do so much with so little. For reals, I was 30 when I realized what mom meant when she told us kids to go ahead and eat because she ate in the kitchen. Oh, that breaks my heart. Outdated technology. When I started college, one of my professors asked if anyone in our class remembered how you change a channel on the TV before remote controls. I was the only person in the room who remembered turning dials and adjusting rabbit ears, despite being one of the youngest students in the class, because my family had a TV from the 70s until 1995. Same sort of thing with computers, phones, etc. If we had it at all, we got something much later than anyone else, after it got cheaper, and bought used. I got my first computer in 1999. It had Windows 3.1 and that was what I used until I was able to use my financial aid to get a new PC tower for college. Same. When I was little, had no idea my family was abysmally poor till I was maybe 25ish and realized all our kitchen gadgets were from the 20s to 60s. I'm 44 BTW. How good a butter tortilla is. If you send a bad check to the utilities company on a Friday, you have power for the weekend. And if it gets returned, you still have a week or so until they realize it. Back in the 90s, I would deliberately put my bank account into overdraft so I could have a few $100 to meet some needs. It was a strategy. We should write a book on how to be poor. The feeling of not eating for a day or sometimes days. My longest drought was 3 days with no food. Sucks because people make shitty comments about how nice it must be to be so skinny and they have to struggle to keep their weight down. Like, be poor. Go a few days without food and your body just starts to eat itself. I'm thankful I haven't missed a day to eat in 10 years. But I still can't fathom eating 3 meals in one day. I had a friend in college who would wolf down food like nobody's business and was stick thin. I used to make a lot of jokes about it. Looking back, I feel bad because I realized the only time he was eating was when I bought him food. You don't want to repeat to grade level, not because it's embarrassing or mommy will scold you, But because that's one less year before you can graduate, work and ease the family's financial burden. You can live on strawberry powder, Nesquik and water for 3 days. I had the same diet at the worst part of my life. I realized it was ducked up and I had to move on. Man, that was a painful moment. I hope you are better now, colon. My mom could somehow cook 2 chickens on a Sunday and feed 6 people all week. Towards the end it was more just corn chowder cooked in chicken stock, but it was dinner. Also we kept a garden. You didn't work the garden. You didn't eat. Sit down on a summer evening. Better have a bowl in your lap and be shelling, stringing, or shucking something. Feed the hulls to the neighbor's pig because she'll save a ham for us. Us too with the garden. In retrospect, it was a blessing because we grew up eating fresh, healthy produce and fresh laid eggs 7 days a week. My dad lived to age 93 and was eating from his garden right until he died. Other kids got takeaway food and TV dinners and we thought we were missing out by filling up on newly dug new potatoes, fresh shelled peas and sweet baby carrots with a tiny portion of red meat. Any nutritionalist today would applaud that diet. Having to help your single mum earn money by doing odd jobs that involved being embarrassed because you were cleaning the houses of your schoolmates, delivering junk mail to their homes, buying things on the cheap from garage sales that end up being their homes, collecting things people put out for hard rubbish council collection on the street, etc. I had a chair that belonged to an older boy's family, and every couch we have had was off the street. Mum also used to go to open houses when she was dreaming about being able to move to a better place. And one time I discovered I was inside the room of a boy from my grade. Saw his picture on his desk, lol. The other time I was really embarrassed was when I had offered a girl in a younger grade a lift home. We had to do Tetris to fit her in the car. There were 20 plus packs of 36 roll toilet paper Mum had gotten on a massive sale from a factory outlet because they had packaging damage was squashed. We were 3 girls and Mum in the house. We went through a lot of loo roll, lol. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.